Hi, it's me. Scoot back a little. Okay, so here we are in the studio and I'm sitting here making buttons. And I thought it would be really fun to start a button club. And so while I'm making these small buttons and coming up with ideas and brainstorming, so many ideas came up in my head, I started just making larger buttons. And I was thinking, like these will be great for shawls or put on your bag. And then I started thinking, like, I miss brooches. My mom would have a whole bunch of brooches in her um, jewelry box, and my grandma was like the brooch queen. And she had tons of brooches that she passed down to my mom. And so I love them. And they would always complete an outfit. Like you could have the plainest outfit in the entire world and you throw a brooch on there or on your hat or in your hair. Like it would just jazz it up like 1,000%. I'm looking at a picture where my mom is wearing a brooch and my grandma is wearing a brooch and another brooch. It's so inspiring. And I just think it's kind of funny that all of these ideas are coming to my mind while I'm actively like going through all of my mother's possessions and looking at all of her pieces and her jewelry. And it's inspiring all of these things that I'm making right now. And I just feel so inspired to share that with everybody. When I feel my best is when I look my best, and meaning like it's not that I'm trying to make myself more attractive or anything. It's just I'm making myself feel good. I love a good statement piece. And when I have that, I feel like a fucking badass bitch. Plain and simple. I feel like a badass. Like nothing can touch me. I can do whatever I want. And I have this energy in me that I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. And I usually feel that way when I dress the way that I want. And that's what this whole club is about. That's why I called it the Bad Bitch Club, because you're a bad bitch. And these are when you feel like being a bad bitch, because I feel like a bad bitch when I wear these things. And so that's the name behind it. I was really hesitant of cussing. Um, a lot of my, I don't know, maybe it's like the Catholic raised Hispanic girl in me, which was kind of bullshit anyway, because we all cuss like sailors. I don't know why. Maybe because I've been trained that bad words are bad, but I use them on a daily basis all the time. And it's part of who I am, and it's a part of the way I express myself. And I don't think that being a bitch is a bad thing at all. I think it's an attitude. I think it's a way of life. I think it's positive. Now, if you're calling somebody a bitch because they're being sassy or mean, there are better words to use than bitch. So that's all I want to say about that. Anyway, I was really hesitant about using cuss words. And the story behind this goes back to knitting in the heart of Texas. And I started a contest, which I will be revealing the winner of that in the next video and what that means for the shop. But I threw a contest of like, what would be the funnest thing to throw on a mug? And when I tell you that nobody had anything that was like not dirty to say, and these are all like, I thought I had a potty mouth. I don't, compared to most of you. So now I'm not scared to just be myself and just say what I want to say. So a lot of these buttons are going to be inspired by what's going on in my life, maybe what's going on pop culture wise, what's going on art wise. And I just don't want to make too many rules. The only rules that I have are size. So just a little bit more about the Bad Bitch Button Club specifically, because there's two. Okay, so let me start over. There would be 2 subscription clubs. So there'll be a Bad Bitch Brooch Club and a Bad Bitch Button Club. Now, the Button Club, they're both monthly subscriptions. The Button Club specifically, you will get either 6 small buttons, which will range anywhere from half an inch or smaller. And then 1/2 inch or larger will be larger buttons. And you'll probably get 2 or 4 depending on the style and how big they are. Anything bigger than like like I would say like a 2 inch or like a 1.5 inch will probably be in the brooch club. And they will just go as like one individual. So I'm trying to give you multiples depending on size so that you can actually put them in a garment. I know that like smaller buttons, you probably want 6. So it can work with a cardigan or a sweater of some sort. And then the larger ones will be more statement pieces. So like you need 2 or 4 of those for your garments. I'm thinking like a low, like grandfather cardigan, as they call it, where you have like 2 buttons at the bottom, like that kind of style. And they're much bigger. The Bad Bitch Brooch Club is also subscription based. So you pay per month and shipping is included, same as the buttons. And you receive 1 brooch a month that is specially designed by me and hand carved, hand created by moi. And yeah, and that's that. And I design them every month again, just what I'm feeling, what things look like. And you basically trust me every month. So a few things about the subscription. One, once you subscribe, you will pay for the first month. Depending on when you subscribe, you'll either be grandfathered into the next month or you will be, you'll be able to get that current month. I'm still thinking of the cutoff date. It's pretty easy because I make a set amount each month. So I'm probably thinking that cutoff date will probably be like the 25th or something of every month that you will just be grandfathered into the next month. So you won't receive, like, let's say you subscribed April 25th. You won't get April's just because that's already in production unless I've made extra. You'll just start the following month. From then on, you will be charged monthly at the first of the month. So if you subscribed like April 25th, you'll be charged for May, and your first month payments won't be like first of the month payments won't take place until June. So if you have any questions about that when we start, just let me know. But for the most part, I'll be able to grandfather people into that current month they subscribe, whether they're in the brooch or button club. You can do both too. Also, when you subscribe to the button club, your 3rd month, you start getting a 10% discount from then on in your subscription. So you pay for 3 months at the full price, and then you start getting 10% off of your subscription price, just as a loyal button club member. One other, and brooch club, so this applies to both. And another thing to note is that I won't sell these to like a one-time thing on my website either. So only members will get these buttons, and it's a one-time thing. They won't ever be resold unless I change my mind, but I highly doubt it. Just to keep it exclusive and to the button club. And yeah, I think also there could be additional perks. Like, for example, I'm going to go to a woolen affair, and there will be exclusive, things that I design just for a woolen affair. And I think that some perks for the members could also be being able to order those on the website, and having first access to those, and maybe only access to those. So only members of the club can get access to those additional buttons and brooches first and only, and also just people that are at the festival can have access to those in person, and nobody else can. So yeah, I am excited to roll this out as I'm working, and I'll be able to show you some sneak peeks here in just a bit while I'm making these buttons. I also think it's important to highlight like how makers make things and how ideas come to light. And so I'm going to try to show some behind the scenes of that. Like, for example, right now I am working on, I just cut all the buttons out of a slab of clay, and I am rounding them out on both sides individually and smoothing them out with my finishing sponge so that they can have at least a nice like shape. These are all handmade. Nothing is going to be like super perfect because it's not manufactured. I do appreciate consistency of size in size, especially when you're working with buttons and multiples of them, because you are cutting buttonholes and you're making sure that, you know, everything is pretty in line. Like, it's really hard to try to make like a cardigan where all the buttons are completely different sizes, unless, you know, you're totally into that, and that's fine too. So just know that. But I'm smoothing all of these out and by hand, and then I will poke holes in them individually, and then I will go back and paint them, carve them, stamp them individually. It's a lot of work, and I know that, you know, Button Club may not be for everybody, but I think that knowing the process of how long this takes, things take time to dry. Each one is individually painted. Like, this is a true like artisan little factory over here. That's me. I'm the artisan factory. So yeah, and I think it's also special, and it's noteworthy to say, like, this is a part of my family's history. All the women that raised me were extremely stylish. They very much took pride in their appearance, no matter what they were wearing or what they were doing, and they looked great, and they passed on all their jewelry and things like this. And I feel like sometimes we lose a little bit of that kind of culture as we grow up. And unfortunately, you know, with my mom's passing, it took me a little bit to realize, like, I want to bring this back into my life. I want to be able to remember her in this way, just by even like dressing up, like, and styling myself maybe in something that she would have liked, or like a stylish button, putting it on my sweaters, and like, or a brooch that I know she would have worn with a certain dress, or just things like that. It helps me stay close to her and my grandmother and my aunts, who looked amazing. Like, let me show you one of my grandma right now, who is wearing a brooch. Here we go. Of course it's dusty. Sorry, Grandma. This is my grandma and my grandpa. And as you can tell, first of all, the hair, hello, yes. And then she has a little stylish, but over here there's a little brooch, and then right here there's a little brooch that she has as well. Yeah, this one in the back is a brooch. This is an applique, but this is a brooch back here. And then there's my handsome grandpa. I mean, styling. And then this one, like, these ladies always had something on. This is another picture of my grandmother, which I have underglaze on. Sorry again, Grandma, my bad. But she's got just like, she had these little paper hearts, and she would just like put them on her outfits and her hair. Like, how did she do that? I mean, I'm looking at myself in the camera, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like slightly ashamed that I look like this right now, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, I found my mom's little necklace, her little gold necklace, and I was so excited to like start accessorizing and start, I don't know, it's like a little piece of my mom that I get to carry with me everywhere. So it is, again, this is a really great personal project. I want you to feel your best, no matter who you are, where you come from, how you identify. Just feel and look your best. Be the bad bitch you are, and keep on keeping on in this fun little world that we live in, as best we can, with as much as we can control. on our daily basis. So, on a daily basis. Sometimes when I get excited, I skip words. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to get back to these buttons.